The majority of those oligarchs make their fortunes under Yeltsin. And in fact, Putin, at the time when he was brought to power, brought in the Kremlin, he was the product of those oligarchs. They cherry-picked him as a potential political heir for Boris Yeltsin and presented it, including to the West, as this younger liberal version of Russia's future leader. What happened after that was Putin cherry-picked those who pledged personal loyalty to him, so-called St. Petersburg guys, and cleansed of those who were in opposition, who supported Yeltsin, particularly when he began transforming Russia domestically, etc. Khodorkovsky was a clear example. What would happen to an oligarch who is trying to resist Vladimir Putin? Coming back to the current situation now, look, it's going to be a bit of a paradox, but I think the Russians, the ordinary Russians, the electorate that votes for Putin and supports Putin for now, conditionally, will actually applaud the Western attempts to attack the oligarchs, because the Russians cannot stand them. This massive disparity in wealth between ordinary Russians and that incredibly filthy rich group of oligarchs is something that is really annoying the population. So I don't think the Russians will give, to pardon my French, give a damn about what will happen to them. In fact, I think this is something that would be presented as a victory on Putin's behalf. I don't think I think from our perspective, from the Western perspective, we still live in times, or somehow operate in times, of Boris Yeltsin, when we think that oligarchs there are so influential that they can manipulate Putin now into some sort of a submission. No, those oligarchs who are close to the Kremlin and keep the incredibly rich fortunes beyond human imagination, have personal loyal allegiance to Putin. So they will never rebel against him, because they know they owe everything to him, and he is the only person who gives them indulgence inside of inside Russia. Otherwise, the Russians will manage him. So attacking the oligarchs will not crumble Putin, as far as I can say, and in fact would actually may be used by Putin, because he is an incredible populist and manipulator, as a form of demonstrating to the ordinary Russians, well, we're actually doing something about the so-called liberal higher echelon of Russian power.
So, Alexey, are you ruling out a diplomatic solution at this stage? Have we reached a point of no return and nothing can stop Putin right now? You, despite aggressive sanctions, you think that would not pressure him to do a rethink?
No, not at all. I think we should really distinguish the attack on the oligarchs from the diplomatic solution. I think diplomatic solution is possible, and I think the Russians are actually seeking some sort of diplomatic solution, because from the military perspective, from what I can say as a defense analyst, the war is sliding from being a high-level maneuver war into the war of attrition. The Russians are not interested in having this conflict drag for months, if not years, and that's the possibility that they're currently facing. So they still want to reach a political resolution whilst they have the upper hand in the conflict. So they would be open up to it, but we should not confuse an attack on the oligarchs with some sort of a soft power approach. So I think there is still a possibility for a diplomatic settlement.